In this video, we Group 1 Subgroup 2 will be discussing the risk assessment that had been conducted in the proteomic lab. Risk assessment is a systematic process of identifying hazards and evaluating any associated risk within a workplace, then implementing reasonable countermeasures to remove or reduce them. The objectives of risk assessment are to identify health and safety hazards and evaluating the risk presented within the laboratory, to evaluate the effectiveness and suitability of existing countermeasures, to ensure additional controls including procedural are implemented wherever the remaining risk is, and lastly to prioritize further resources if needed to ensure the above. Now let us take a look on the inspection result. In the checklist, there are 4 sections. Part A, laboratory facilities. Part B, safety equipment. Part C, work practices. Part D, records and documents. For Part A, laboratory facilities, there are names and phone numbers of the laboratory supervisor and other personnel at the entrance of the laboratory. There is no pantry in the lab to be separated from the lab activities for the design of the facility, and a sink for hand washing was found available during the inspection. The spaces, benchtops, and floor are found easily to be cleaned, and autoclave for pre-treatment of waste is available. Part B, safety equipments. First aid kit and fire extinguisher can be found in the lab, except for eye wash fountain. Although the eye wash fountain is located outside of the lab, there should be a fountain readily available in the lab so that in case of an emergency, it can be found at close proximity. Fume hood for working with hazardous chemicals and laboratory refrigerator to store hazardous materials are available in the lab. Part C, work practices. Work practices such as washing hands before leaving the lab and disinfecting the work surfaces on completion of work were not carried out during the inspection. The signage for prohibition of certain activities should be present in the lab. At the moment of inspection, there were mechanical pipetting devices being used. Yellow disposable bin for disposal of syringes, needles and sharps should be available. For the cleaning of reusable sharps and autoclaving contaminated waste with biohazardous materials were not performed during the inspection. There were no assorted waste bins based on the waste category, and the personnel were not seen to be provided with the information regarding working with hazards and risks. Part D, records and documents. There were no procurement and transfer of LMO or GMO, and inventory of biological material or LMO information was retrieved from the laboratory personnel. However, there is SOP for every lab activity present in the lab. The information regarding staff training and competency, including decontamination and validation, were not retrieved from the personnel, and the maintenance of equipment was found in the lab. The first hazard found was the broken chairs. This could cause accidents and injury to the lab users. To avoid that, the broken chairs should be discarded and all laboratory users should be involved. And lastly, a pile of trash bags was found not being discarded properly. It is dangerous to the lab users as they may trip on the bags, and contaminations from the lab waste may cause serious health problems to them. All laboratory users should throw these bags based on the trash category.